Hi, welcome. Enjoy the content, subscribe, and turn on notifications.
John Miller always thought he knew every little thing about his wife, from her small quirks to her subtle gestures. After 7 years together, their marriage felt solid, secure, with no room for doubt. He knew their routines were packed with obligations, but there was still affection, conversations before bed, and that comforting feeling that each had found safe harbor in the other. Emily always had a lightness about her, easy laughter and little comments that could lift the weight off any tough day. It was just an ordinary morning, as he was getting ready for work, when something unusual caught his eye. When he walked into the bathroom, he noticed something out of place, a new pair of underwear hanging from the doorknob. The color was bright, a striking lime green, with delicate lace edging and a small metallic charm shaped like a chili pepper attached to the side. John had never seen this piece before. The image stuck in his mind like a snapshot, the bold design contrasting with how casually it was left there, as if it had just been forgotten. Curious, he made a light comment when Emily showed up. He asked about the underwear, and she laughed, saying it was a gift from a friend. She added, half joking, that she might wear it for a special night. The way she said it seemed natural, and John didn't press further. In fact, he found it kind of fun to imagine the moment she was hinting at. The playful tone in her answer sparked a little excitement in him, and the underwear became, in his mind, a symbol of intimacy, something just for the two of them. Even after he left the house that day, the image stayed with him. He pictured Emily picking out that piece to surprise him at some point, and it brought small smiles to his face while driving or answering emails. In a long marriage, little gestures like this carried special weight, keeping the spark alive that so many couples let fade. In the days that followed, life went on as usual. Quick chats before heading out in the morning, text messages during lunch breaks, quiet dinners at night. Emily didn't bring up the special night again, and John, though still a bit curious, didn't mention it either. In his mind, maybe she was planning something for their upcoming wedding anniversary. The vibrant green and the silver chili charms still popped into his thoughts from time to time, like a silent invitation to something waiting to happen. At that moment, he had no idea that this seemingly innocent detail would become a turning point. To John, everything he saw was just a private, playful gesture from his wife. He didn't feel any reason to question where the underwear came from or worry about what it meant. If something was hidden behind that story, he wasn't ready to see it yet, and even less ready to face the impact it would have on their lives. That Friday, John accepted Ryan's invitation to watch the NFL game. It was a regular thing between them since high school: beer, simple food, and plenty of trash talk about rival teams. When he arrived, he found the usual scene at his friend's place: people talking loudly, bottles on the table, and the familiar mix of snack smells and drinks, along with a faint, fresh scent, like someone had just gotten ready to go out. He settled onto the couch, exchanged a few jokes with the group, and turned his attention to the game. At one point, he felt a cold draft from the window and looked for something to cover up with. Ryan pointed to a blanket that should have been in the corner of the couch. As John pulled the cushion aside to grab it, his fingers brushed against a different kind of fabric. It was small, soft, with a lace texture. Instinctively, he pulled it out to see what it was. The moment the piece came into view, his whole body reacted. The bright lime green color jumped out, and there, hanging from the side, was the metallic chili pepper charm. The world around him seemed to go silent for a few seconds. This wasn't just similar to the one he'd seen at home, it was identical. Same lace, same color, same charm. John held it for a moment, as if his brain needed time to process what he was seeing. The memory of Emily saying it was a gift from a friend flashed into his mind, but now that version started to fall apart. He glanced toward the kitchen, where Ryan was laughing at something one of the others had just said. Seeing his best friend, relaxed and caught up in casual conversation, felt painfully at odds with the suspicion growing inside him. Every one of Emily's recent outings began rearranging itself in his memory. The late returns with vague excuses, the the messages she quickly deleted, the way she changed the subject when he asked more direct questions. It all started to line up into a picture he'd rather not be seeing in his own mind. Holding the underwear, John felt the weight of it cut through his chest like a cold blade. It was like standing in front of a key that could open a door to a place he never wanted to enter. His marriage, his friendship with Ryan, everything could come apart from this moment on. His hands trembled, but instead of putting the underwear back, he quietly closed it in his palm and, with a slow motion, slipped it into his pants pocket. The light fabric against his leg felt like it was burning, as if with every second it was carving the discovery deeper into his memory. The noise of the conversations around him faded into the distance, muffled, almost meaningless. He tried to focus on the TV screen, but every image seemed to lose its color. Emily's laugh from that morning came back like an echo, the way she'd mentioned a special night, the bright green and the shine of the charm reflecting the bathroom light. Now, it all sounded like a rehearsed script meant to hide something. Minutes dragged by, but to John it felt like hours. With every second spent there, the feeling of being trapped grew stronger. He needed to leave before anyone noticed the hard look on his face. He took a deep breath and, keeping his voice steady, said he had to go, claiming he wasn't feeling well. Ryan, distracted by the excitement of the game, just waved and wished him well, completely unaware of the storm his friend was carrying. As he stood up, John felt the weight of the underwear in his pocket like a secret pulsing against his skin. He walked across the room, greeting people out of politeness as he passed, but not really seeing any of them. When he stepped out the door, he breathed in the cold air and kept his eyes fixed on the street ahead, as if each step was an effort to hold back everything threatening to explode inside. The drive home wasn't on autopilot, each corner felt longer, each red light slower, and with every stop the same question hammered at him: how far did this go, and what was he about to find out? John entered the house quietly, still feeling the weight of the underwear in his pocket and his mind spinning in circles. That's when he remembered, whenever he went to Ryan's place, Emily usually took the chance to go stay with her best friend Claire, spending the night watching shows and talking. So she wouldn't be home. That gave him a brief sense of relief. He wouldn't have to face her right now, but it also meant he'd have more time alone with the thoughts he was carrying. He went upstairs and stood still for a few seconds, staring at the closed closet. The memory of the underwear hanging on the bathroom doorknob a few days earlier felt almost physical, like he could reach out and touch it again. He needed to know if it was still there. He yanked the door open and started searching through everything. He pulled out drawers, pushed aside stacks of folded clothes, moved hangers one by one. Each empty space tightened the knot in his chest. Soon, the careful order Emily always kept had turned into a pile of clothes on the floor. T-shirts, dresses, scarves, everything scattered. And no sign of the lime green underwear with the chili pepper charm. Its absence seemed louder than any solid proof. He stopped, took a deep breath, and rested his hands on the open closet frame. Surrounded by the familiar scent of her clothes, John started wondering when their marriage might have veered off into something he didn't know about. He thought of their trips together, late-night talks, the future plans they'd made. Every good memory now came with a shadow of doubt. He tried to make sense of it, to find some logical thread that wouldn't lead to the obvious conclusion, but the image of Ryan's couch and the piece burning in his pocket stayed in his mind like an unerasable stamp. He stood there for a while, looking at the mess he'd made in the closet, feeling like the real chaos was inside him. And for the first time, he was truly afraid of finding all the answers he was searching for. With the closet still turned upside down and his heart pounding, John picked up his phone. The dial tone sounded louder than usual, as if each ring marked the seconds he was about to lose between them. When Emily answered, her voice was light, with background noise, probably the TV on. "Are you going to be out late?" he asked, trying to keep his voice steady, but with a weight he knew she'd notice. "I need to talk to you." There was a brief silence before she answered, like she was choosing her words. "We're in the middle of a show at Claire's, might be a while. Can't you talk on the phone?" He closed his eyes for a moment, taking a deep breath. No. The sharp tone made her react instantly. Did something happen? She asked, her voice already lower, like she was trying to keep others from hearing. John felt a lump in his throat. I don't know yet, if something happened or not. On the other end, the silence was longer this time, followed by a breath that gave away her nerves. I'll come home, she said, without hesitation. He ended the call without another word. He stayed in the bedroom, surrounded by the scattered clothes, listening to his own heartbeat like it was a fast-ticking clock. Every minute until she arrived would be a minefield, and he knew that when she walked through the door, nothing would ever be the same. A few minutes after hanging up, his phone vibrated in his hand. It was Emily. He answered, and her voice came fast, with engine noise in the background. I'm in the car, what's going on? You know I get anxious, did someone die? What is it? Please, just tell me. He stayed silent for a moment, as if deciding whether to ease the tension or make it worse. I'd rather talk in person. John, her voice trembled, what happened? Please, talk to me. Then he heard her start to cry, the muffled sound of someone trying to hold back tears while driving. You're scaring me, for God's sake, say something. He pressed his lips together, heart racing, and before she could beg again, he ended the call. The silence that followed felt heavier than any words he could have said. The door slammed open, and Emily rushed in with red eyes, tears streaming down her face. She was breathing fast, almost gasping, her hands shaking as she held her bag. Her eyes searched for John the moment she stepped into the room, finding him sitting on the couch, body leaning forward, elbows on his knees. He didn't stand up, just watched every step she took with a serious, unreadable look. Please, just tell me what happened. Her voice was shaky, almost breaking. Is it my mom? My dad? Tell me, did someone die? John took a few seconds to respond. His eyes stayed locked on her, but there was something hard in them, like he was analyzing every reaction. No, no one died, he said, pausing after each word, as if making her feel the weight of his tone. Emily brought her hands to her face and let out a breath, a mix of relief and confusion. Then for God's sake, tell me, why are you acting like this? You had me terrified on the way here, imagining 1,000 horrible things. He stayed quiet for a few moments, leaning back against the couch. The tension between them seemed to fill the room like an invisible weight. Emily's face, still wet, showed real fear, not of an outside tragedy, but of something that could come from within their home. She knew him well enough to understand that when he got this serious, something big was coming, and that made her even more uneasy. John took a deep breath, running his hands over his face before speaking. His tone was controlled, but carried something Emily rarely heard, pure indignation. I went to Ryan's place today, he began, not looking away from her. The living room was full, everyone laughing, talking, watching the game. I sat on the couch, and when I reached for a blanket, I felt something caught in the cushion. I thought it was a sock or some random thing left behind. But when I pulled it out, he paused, leaning slightly forward. What was in my hand was a lime green pair of underwear, with lace, and a silver charm shaped like a chili pepper. Emily turned pale, and he kept going, not giving her space to speak. It was the exact same one I saw at home days ago, hanging on the bathroom doorknob. You said you got it from a friend, remember? That you'd wear it for a special night. Well, today that special night was hiding in my best friend's couch. He placed his hands on his knees, eyes locked on hers, each word like a weight being dropped. I kept that piece in my pocket. I left before the game ended. I came straight to our room, opened your closet and took everything out. T-shirts, dresses, skirts, underwear. I threw it all on the bed. I checked every drawer, every corner, and you know what I didn't find? The damn new lime green underwear with the chili pepper charm. That's not something you just pick up anywhere. It's unique. His voice deepened, heavy with frustration. So tell me, Emily, why isn't it here at home, and why was it on my best friend's couch? The room fell into complete silence. She looked breathless, eyes wide, face wet with tears, while he stayed still, staring at her like her answer would decide their future. Emily wiped her tears with the back of her hand, but her gaze stayed sharp, almost cutting. Her voice came out tight with anger. So that's it? You think I slept with your best friend, on his couch, and left my underwear there? Is that what went through your head, John? Is that really what you think of me? She took a step forward, breathing fast. Did you even ask him who that underwear belonged to? He kept his voice low but direct. No. I didn't ask. I took it and left his house. Emily spread her arms, stunned. Then tell me, if that underwear isn't mine, why are you accusing me? John leaned forward slightly, his voice heavy. If that underwear isn't yours, then why isn't it here, in your things? Where's your lime green underwear with the chili pepper charm, Emily? Her eyes flashed with fury. I can't believe you're doubting me like this. This is disgusting, John. She said, her voice somewhere between yelling and crying. He took a deep breath, trying to stay calm, but his eyes never left hers. Be patient, Emily, breathe, he said in a deeper tone. Now, stop going in circles, and just admit it. The silence that followed was thick and heavy, like the walls were soaking up every second of tension in the room. Emily stayed still for a few seconds, eyes locked on John, until a sarcastic smile appeared at the corner of her mouth. Her breathing was still fast, but now there was a hint of defiance. Want to know why you didn't find the lime green underwear with the chili pepper charm in your closet? She asked, raising her eyebrows. It's because I'm wearing it right now, John. Without looking away, she brought her hands to her zipper and slowly pulled it down, tugging the fabric slightly to reveal the underwear. The bright green appeared, along with the metallic shine of the little charm. See? I'm wearing it. I did this because I know that when you go hang out with your friends, you usually drink a bit too much and come home wanting a night. And I decided tonight would be that special night. She took a deep breath and stepped back. Now, whose underwear did you find on your friend's couch? I don't know, John. And honestly, if you really want to know, you should ask him, not me. The color drained from his face. A cold wave ran through him as he realized how badly he'd messed up. He stood up, feeling the weight on his shoulders, and took a few steps toward her. Emily. I'm sorry. I was wrong. She shook her head, eyes still wet. No. I'm going back to Claire's. I'll sleep there tonight. Wait, it's not like that. He tried to grab her hand, but she pulled away, grabbed her bag, and walked out, slamming the door behind her. An hour later, at her friend's house, her phone rang. Emily answered, and John's voice came through low, full of regret. Can you come out for a bit, please? She went to the sidewalk, where he was waiting, leaning against the car. They talked for a few minutes. He repeated his apology, admitted he'd let jealousy and anger take over. Emily listened in silence, took a deep breath, and said, I forgive you today. But I'll sleep here. John nodded, accepting her decision. He drove home alone, carrying the weight of shame for having doubted the woman he'd always believed he knew completely. Thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you won't miss any updates. See you next time.